over the moon, really, quite frankly, to be joined by Barun Sobti, who is such a remarkable talent. And I'm reuniting with him for an interview after so many years. So thank you, Barun, for
Yeah,
being on Filme Shilmy, and a warm welcome
thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Well, look, I think congratulations are in order for having multiple releases this year, including Kohrra on Netflix.
Right.
Tell me, having worked decades in this industry as an actor, do you kind of feel your efforts and endeavors, your pursuits of solid roles are now really transpiring? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I do. I do. And I don't know what it is, but uh, maybe it's luck. I don't know because I'm the same. I haven't changed one bit. It's also, I think, the complex portrayal over the time of the characters that gives the people who want to cast you a bit of confidence. But yes, that right now is the time. I don't know what the reason is. Right now is the time.
Right. Now, one thing that I have to say, so I have actually seen Korra on Netflix, and I have to
Oh,
say that
yeah.
really have gone
Yeah.
strength from strength. In fact, it's interesting because, again, in Halahal and now Kohrra,
Right.
you play cops who are investigating murders within the
Right.
heartlands of India. Uh,
Right.
this character, of course, is very different. I mean, both of them are very different from how you are as a person, of course. But what do you think helps you to really understand the mindsets and social backdrops of these characters that you've played?
So social backdrop actually is the more important thing. I understand because when you're going in, you have to give it to yourself that you can't challenge your own intellect. You have to understand that because I'm going to portray this, I have to believe myself the best. So so the social backdrop is the main thing. Apart from that, I am a simple person. You know, um, as everyone sees me, but I am a very complex mind. I am a very complex person. Like the show is like I like the how Sudeep was putting it throughout the whole promotion that the show is actually about uh, how everyone has their own darkness inside them, but you want to throw light on it instead of reacting upon it. So I have darkness. It's not that I am, I'm not a goody two shoes. Like, if someone who understands that, I have my problems. It's just that I choose to be a good human being. I want this place to behave like me because my kids are going to grow up in this world. But I have complexities inside me. I have, darkness inside of me. So you have to channel all those things, bring out the color and characters, especially like Garundi.
Hmm. And I'm glad you talked about the complexities actually, because मैं यही बोलने वाला था क्योंकि आपकी जो personality है, from what I've met of you and whenever I've
Right,
interacted with you, I feel like you're quite an introvert. I feel like you're an
right.
introvert, but I think once you get to know someone, you
Yes.
kind of, it's like almost like an onion, really. Like you have layers and
Right,
layers of
right. That's
personality.
true.
But do you
Right.
think that's kind of also what really helps you as well as an actor?
It helps you grow. And I don't know, everyone has their own wiring, everyone has their own luck, everyone there has their own destinies. It's always been the case with me. I start slow. The reason for that is, and it's usually, the graph of understanding success, me understanding people, being successful at, not hurting anyone, all those things combined is usually going up because it start very slow. With respect to the person that I am, you're right. There's a people, there's friends I have that are 30, 35 years old friends. Like we've been friends for 30, 35 years, and they're still finding out things about me. I am an introvert only because I don't want to offend people. There was a few, that's how we're shaped by the incidents of our life, right?
Hmm. And I think another thing which I've noticed as well, whether it's I think whether it's that soft, gentle character that you played in Tu Hai Mera Sunday, or even to someone who kind of like your character in Kohara, who has that softness, but then also has this rough exterior. Uh,
Right.
I think you have this ability to really switch between the two very easily. I wanted to elaborate my previous question that I just asked you.
Sorry.
So, what do you think helps you to really, again, switch characteristics like that on screen? I mean, it's a skill. It really is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happens is the first time I'm not gonna go on, be gaga about myself. The thing is that the first time we start walking and everyone starts clapping. it gives us so much confidence that we keep walking all of our lives. What happened with me was there was so much appreciation that was given to me wherever and whatever I was doing that I became extremely confident of the actor that I've now become. I'm sure that people, all of them, have a world inside of them, but they're just conscious of image or, you know, what is someone gonna say? What is someone gonna think? How am I putting it out there in the world? I have no baggage at all. I just, when I go in, I'm like a laborer. It is only and only my job to do, justice to the character and the best that I can. So it should be so joyful that I should be able to look back at it, with the people that I love and respect, the people that are whose intellect and sensitivity I love and respect. I should be able to sit down with them, watch it without being embarrassed about it. So I really give it my all, and we are everything, aren't we? Like I like the person that you're talking about. Like when I meet you for an interview, you have this soft, nice person that talk to, that you want to talk to probably more. I'm guessing, I don't know, and know more or something. I don't know. But at the same time, there's also this person who's gonna, uh, uh, you know, go to great dark lengths to save his family in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
uh, you know. So we all have it inside us. You just have to channelize it.
Mm. And I think with Kohrra, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong as well. But it almost seems it's a bit, I mean, in terms of the backdrop that you're exploring, it's Punjab and you're speaking in
Right,
Punjabi. So
right.
obviously it's quite close to home in that sense, in that
Yeah,
respect.
yeah, yeah,
तो
yeah, yeah.
आपके लिए वो ऑब्वियसली वो सोशल बैकग्राउंड को एक्सप्लोर करना तो आई एम श्योर काफी नजदीकी था आपके लिए बट उसके साथ साथ आई थिंक वो जो एक माइंडसेट था बिकॉज लाइक हाउ आई आस्क्ड यू व्हाट डू यू थिंक रियली हेल्प्ड यू टू गेट इनटू द स्किन ऑफ द रोल एंड even the comic timing that you had when you're talking about literally about speaking about literally a person who's just passed away and you pass a comment and your
Right,
senior looking at you like what the hell how
right.
what helped you really to kind of master that.
See, social backdrop you can say was close to me, but the culture of Punjab is actually very, very different. You've seen the show, right?
Yeah, I have.
There's a few very questionable things, in the show. There's a few very questionable relationships in the show, and and
Yeah.
and the show, that the time we set out, the idea was interpersonal relationships more than the murder mystery, as you must have noticed.
Yes.
So knowing people, knowing Punjab social culture, I was a little distant actually from me because now I'm from Delhi initially. I was closer to the Punjabi culture and all that. Now I've been in Bombay for a very long time. So this thing, the comic timing is I feel, I don't know, I might be wrong. Comic timing is the only one thing in life an actor inherits, is what I feel.
Mm,
Even if you work on it, I'm sure there must be masters who work on it, but usually people who inherit comic timing are the ones who go on to improve it in their life if they want to be good performers and good actors and good, whatever. And then the rest of it was only dependent on Gunjit's research. Gunjit is the guy who wrote the show,
yeah.
and the show was researched for 2 years. I asked a lot of questions at one point in time, and every answer they came back was so logical that I had to surrender, to the writers of the show, for the knowledge and understanding of it. Apart from that, I was just talking to someone. The only one drawback, I don't think it's only one drawback actors usually have is they try to enact what they've already seen on screen because that impressed them too much. I try to steer clear from that. I and the great thing was that this was the idea Sudeep and everyone had. They wanted the real thing. They wanted the rawness. They wanted the new thing, my own thing. So I had a lot of liberty that had actually, which seems like he had mastered it now. It seems well, that's happened because of a lot of creative collaboration.
Right. And I think, again, looking at this sort of work you've done on the OTT space, I think it's very interesting. I remember watching this film you did called Doso Halla Ho as well.
Right, right, yeah, right, yeah,
Even this year as well, the sort of contents you've done, they're very strong, very socially driven content,
right, yeah,
including
yeah,
Asur too, for that same matter. But ये
right.
सब चीजें करते करते आपके लिए कितना वो eye opening हुआ है आप खुद के लिए, in terms of understanding the system, understanding perhaps the flaws in society as well and the world we live in. Do you think it's really shifted your mindset too a lot?
To what?
Just generally, like how you
I'm not a big fan of the society anyway, to be honest with you. Let's just put it that way.
tell me more. I would love to know why.
There's so many. Uh, I think, and I'm not saying that I'm not guilty here, you know. It's just that we're so selfishly driven. The goals uh, that humanity aspires to achieve and the deliverables are two different worlds, you know. So
Mm.
and yeah, and so I'm if I love someone, I love those people to pieces, and usually they don't disappoint me because I take my time knowing them and take my time opening up and stuff like that. But just usually, people are, I don't know how to put it.
The way you need
uh,
to put it.
yeah, so yeah, that's it. It could have been a much better place this world.
I agree. No,
Let's
no,
just
no,
yeah,
totally. No, I agree with
yeah.
you. But one thing I must tell you, is after watching the series, and of course I'm not going to give any spoilers because I do want people to watch it.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but I think there's one particular subject that I think it revolves around, which I think is quite personal to me, actually, for obvious reasons. And I think it was very,
Right. Okay. Right.
and I'm
Yeah.
really glad that it touches upon that. But how do you
Right.
perhaps
Faintly, not as much, but
not as
yeah,
much,
but it is. Yeah.
a very
Right.
important aspect nonetheless.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, how do you think the series, I think, largely can really help, you know, the conversation about, misogyny and toxic masculinity amongst Indian men
Right.
today as well? How do you think the series can perhaps really encourage that through the medium of cinema?
Uh, yeah. This is very interesting what you're saying actually, because I know what people watch some things from a distance and develop their respect or disrespect towards that product, or career sometimes, actor sometimes, writer sometimes. So likewise, I have a lot of respect for Sudeep. So I had the same question from him because his stuff is so damn good and hard hitting and just blows your mind the kind of social commentary he makes on the society, and you would think that he's trying to achieve a purpose, but actually he's not. I asked him this one day, and he was like, "Well, I just love the art. I just love serving the art." So
Mm.
comprehensions are, you make a good piece of content, and now I think we're educated enough to know that sparks a lot of conversation, at least, So so what someone comprehends is very different. If I was to, dissect the show, it has so many takeaways,
Yeah,
um, you know, especially the way it is done in Punjab, especially the Nimrat Balbir relationship, most importantly, you know, and uh, eventually it turns out that my character is kind of a victim. Eventually, it's not that he's the one what he's portraying is a much softer guy. So so that's what the show is actually about. Yeah, that's the idea. What people are and what they portray.
yeah.
So misogyny and toxic masculinity are big, large subjects. Let's just leave it up to the public to figure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think, one thing again, because I really am a fan of seeing content which really shows vulnerable side to men. Because I
Right,
think it is so important because ऐसा, कहा जाता है कि, बहुत, especially हमारे जो Indian mindset है,
right.
काफी हद तक अभी तक, they're like saying, अरे
Mm.
मर्द बनना, be a man, but
No,
actually what's happening is that अब लोग अपना रहे इस बात को कि vulnerability vulnerability होता है it's
जो
not
है वो है
not
यार.
gender.
हाँ.
Exactly. And I'm
Right,
really a fan of that. And I think, I want to bring in Iss Pyaar Ko Kya Naam Do here because I think
right,
Arnav Singh Raizada for me is an embodiment of all of that. He
right,
really is an
right,
embodiment of all of that. But do you know
right.
when you were playing that role in particular, and maybe you can maybe link this to Kohrra perhaps, I don't know. But was there ever a point in your life where you always had to kind of tap into a very vulnerable part of you, or maybe a part of you which has felt pain from a very close quarter?
See, I'll be honest with you. I'm a very sensitive guy.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like someone, it's not going to be easy for a non-sensitive person to say a thing like I'm not a big fan of the society. There's way too many complaints I have. So so there was a lot of times where I tapped into the heart of the character and thought, what the hell would have happened if this happened to me? And that's a very difficult thing to do. To directly connect it to yourself, it's a very difficult thing to do. Um, so yes, I have.
Hmm. And again, I'm going to go back to what you spoke about again, in your earlier responses, which I personally love seeing, is the fact that you're very nonchalant and you are not bound by the, by the choka chandani of fame.
Yeah,
You're still that Barun that I met years ago, and you're still the same now, and
yeah,
I love that.
right.
But again, your popularity, Barun, even now as Arnav, it's so huge.
The work that PR will get me, I will not do that work as an actor. I mean, I don't know, I should be saying this, but I have a lot of options, but I choose very few. I want to do the kind of stuff that I want to do, and it's only happening now. I didn't have a lot of work to do for a while back, but the last 2 years have been phenomenal for me, and it wouldn't have landed me anywhere if I did PR with the fame and everything. Secondly, if it was to make me feel good, I'm not gonna lie, I feel good. Like happiness is felt, not expressed, right?
Hmm.
So it makes me happy that people like my work. It gives me a challenge. ऐसा भी नहीं कि मैं सोचता नहीं and taking my people who like me for granted. I'm always thinking कि यार, I don't want to let anyone down. That's why the content decision. I'm actually basically placing my life on stake to do good content and for people to like it, for people to keep watching it. So the end road of that is that it doesn't do anything. The thing is
Hmm.
that taking fame seriously, what I need to take seriously is what got me there. That was good content.
Gee.
you know so with respect to images, now people, what happens with images is a trap. And I'm a free human being. I don't want to be trapped by anything. I'll tell you something. I was telling someone the other day. What happens is, we'll start this with, I had a very good happy childhood. We were not rich, but there was happiness. We were all nice people to each other and stuff of that sort. What happens with actors is that usually they come from India. I don't know about any other industry. They come from small towns. Majority human beings are not very well accepted in their families. If I was not to say, well, at least at one point in time in their life, you
Hmm.
know. So now these boys and girls, they come in to Bombay. They start doing whatever work they do. They do one character, let's say. That character puts them on the map. Now everybody's talking about this character. This character is being spoken about by the media, by the people that are watching it, people in the industry, the technicians in the industry, the actors in the industry, all the appreciation that this person wanted when he was back home. Now the person is not realizing that these people like the character,
Hmm.
because this guy was not very liked back home. This guy now starts becoming the character
True.
instead of their own person that they was. So I didn't want to fall into that because I had a great time back home. I don't want to fall to some image that I'm not. It'll be such a hollow life. And to be honest with you, I love art, but I love life more.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned about learning from that journey you had, because I think that's a very good
Right.
point, actually. And I know with actors who work in television, because I have friends who work in television, and I know for sure how tough it really is. The schedules, the shoot durations,
That's
it,
crazy.
it
Yeah.
takes a lot out of you. And I think, kudos goes to everyone who really does work to entertain the
Right.
audiences, really.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
again, the sort of journey you've had on television, I think whether it is the mechanics of the way it works, or again, even the contents, of course, like Iss Pyaar, Dill Mill Gayye, all these stuff that you've been a
Right.
part of. What do you think they've really taught you about life, and maybe about professionalism also?
Profession. Let's start with professional, because lifestyle, that was my shaping of. I was being shaped at that time. It really, really honed me into the actor that I could become. I realized. Otherwise, I was, anybody else. Professionally, what I what I learned was, it's a negative thing, but the professionally what I learned was that everything is doable. Let's not call anybody's job easy. Uh, Direction can happen, acting can happen, writing every day, a new episode, a new creation. is the most difficult job in the world.
Mm.
Professionally, that's what I've learned. That this just can't be done every day. So I really hope and feel, I've said this a lot of times, I feel the programming on television changes from daily to weekly or bi-weekly or something like that, right? Because doing this every week just is impossible, you know. You will eventually churn out content that is not the not justice to the capability of the writer. Because
Mm.
he just can't create everything something every day. Professionally, personally, what it did for me as what it taught me. I mean, I met so many friends here for lifetime. I made some you people know, some you people don't even know behind the screens. You know, you learn a different thing that sticks with you for a lifetime. Sometimes someone calls you a nice person, that sticks with you. You know, so people think that I'm a nice guy. I have to be a nice guy. How important is it to be a nice guy? You know, so yeah, for me,
Right.
yes.
And again, we're speaking about lessons, right? And again, I can't believe it's been 13 years since this pack of Anangu. I mean, I was in school and I was like, I mean, I have to admit, I think you, like many others, were definitely a heartthrob of mine as well.
Right.
Time. But I think when you look, we were talking about life lessons and the key learnings. When you look back then, when you were beginning, as you were saying, it was your formative years. Uh, how do you look back at Arnav Singh Raizada at this point in time when Barun has learned, developed, and still is evolving as an actor?
It was a very well written character, yeah. I think if you put Arnav Singh Rai as the kind of matlab, you can't copy paste, but if let's say that if well, let's rate it. If it was a 10 on 10 kind of character written on 10 on 10, if this comes on TV now, it's going to be similar, same range. The
Mm.
way it was, Arnav was written very, very well. I mean, I got so lucky. And it was also bad. You know, Arnav was so well written. I used to be surprised when I used to read it, you know. And it's I actually feel guilty for that, because actors get all the credit. No one even knows what was going on into the writing of the whole thing, the tiny little things that my director sometimes told me to do or my DOP told me to do, the people that formed the character, you know. But the thing is, well, let's not deny it, I got lucky, and I'm going to shy away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, and I think your chemistry with Sanaya, I mean, you
Oh,
know,
it was crazy,
I
yeah.
see a lot of fans sometimes on social media, they make edits, and
Right,
I'm like, but
right,
Jadoo, like it was one of those instinct things. And I think even like the work that you've been doing on the OTT front, I think they're just
right,
so organic. I think that
right.
organic process is something I think which is
Correct.
what you
Right.
always believe in, right? It seems to be
Right, but it was just starting to develop at that time. Actually, it was not organic. Organic stuff was not happening at that time. I think Iss Pyaar Ko Kya Naam Doon and Mine and Sanaya work. I would like to say it was novelty at that time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
I would like to ask a bit more about this. Why do you think
Yeah.
it was like that? I mean, I know throwing you a bit under the bus. Apologies for that.
No,
But
no, that's all right. That's okay. First of all, Sanaya and me were electrifying together because in real life, we wanted similar things. We both were coming together, matlab in the same time. We were growing together. You
mm,
know, I didn't know it so much, and I did, in fact, for that matter. I think Sanaya was much more confident of the show than I was. I'm the, take it easy kind of person that I am. But the ये था बहुत ज्यादा दोनों को, and I remember that because I was pretty much staring into her eyes the whole show, that we both really wanted to do well. We both really wanted to do well. We had found in each other a partner that was going to be a help instead of a hindrance. She gave me a very easy time. I gave her a very easy time. It just went like that. It happened like a, butter through knife. It was so easy, and I'm very thankful to Snar for that matter. Co-actors can be very, very difficult, especially, and not to blame anyone, when you're just sitting on someone's head for 2 years continuously, it
yeah.
must get very difficult. But yeah, so I think that's how the chemistry was so good. And you were gonna ask something else, yeah?
Yeah, no. Thank you for saying that. But that was really beautiful
Yeah,
because I think we're
yeah,
really pressed for time, Barun. So I'm gonna kind of give you a last question. It's
right,
kind of split into two parts. Apologies.
yeah,
Um,
that's all right.
First part of the question really is again, you've been doing some amazing work. I think everyone is really rooting for you. I think we're all really keen to see you being explored a lot more as an actor and getting
Right.
to see more great work from you. But I'm sure
Right.
there must be a dream sort of role or dream character that you are itching to play, what would that dream role be? And secondly, post Kohrra, what else can we look forward to from you?
First, for the post Kohrra, I have the two shows that are going to come out. One is called Bawanda. It's a coming of age drama. It's a very complex show, that too. It's about the young young India basically. And the second one is Donali. It's a period drama. Both of these shows are with applause. Looking forward to both of them as well.
Wow.
And my dream role, I've done a few that are enviable, yeah. But I know I understand what you're saying because mileage and all that. I do very niche kind of stuff, so I don't know how much it goes out. But um I can explain to you what kind of a role I would really like. I like to play characters that are comprehended as bad human beings because they're affecting a smaller demographic and eventually come out to be the sensible, knowing everything kind of person who eventually affects the larger demographic. I love those kind of characters. Yeah.
That kind of reminded me of the Joker. I don't know why. But I just
Which one? Which one?
when you just mentioned that, I was literally just remember Joaquin's Phoenix's like monologue that he has towards the end of Joker. I was like, oh my god,
The Joker, right? Yeah,
you
yeah,
you play like so. Oh wow, I'm
yeah.
manifesting.
Oh,
But no, I think look, Barun, you were saying your niche, but I think your niche is your mileage, and I think that is always going to be your turupka ikka. So honestly, I really hope and pray that that continues for you. And honestly, wishing you all the very best for Kohrra. It was such a hard-hitting watch, and I think another great performance from you. So thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you, Anuj.
Likewise, Barun. Take care.
Take care of yourself, man. Bye.
Bye bye.